The Sonoran Desert can be a hard place to find a good meal, especially for a hungry mouse. Plus, what can you do when one of your favorite meals also packs one of the most powerful stings in North America? Sometimes, survival comes down to chemical warfare and an aggressive attitude in life, death, and taxonomy. Welcome back to Life, Death, and Taxonomy. I've been told it's 30 minutes of interesting animal info, and I've been told it's for you, the listener. Welcome back.
I told you that.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah, that was me. That was like 5 minutes ago.
Right. Well, I'm Joe.
I'm Carlos.
And today we're talking about a creature that is the half-orc barbarian class of mice and would give Cluny the Scourge a run for his money.
Who's Cluny the Scourge?
He's the bad guy from Redwall.
Okay. I trust you, because I've never read or seen it.
It's the best book about mice, bar none.
I don't know. There is the mouse and the motorcycle.
A strong contender, but not as good.
All right, yeah, we're talking about the southern grasshopper mouse, SGM.
A mouse.
Actually, we'll talk about that. Firstly, here are some nicknames.
Okay.
The southern grasshopper mouse is otherwise known as, in my own brain, the Mad Max mouse. The Wasteland warrior.
I like that.
The adorable arthropod attacker. And Mighty Mouse.
Oh, yeah. Mighty Mouse, yeah.
I added that in at the end because I was driving home today and I was like, how could I not include the word Mighty Mouse in this?
The phrase?
So, speaking of taxonomical breakdowns, let's do one. Starting with the kingdom Animalia.
As that is a given.
We haven't said that in a while.
As that is a gibbon one day.
Eventually we do a gibbon. And that has to be said. Or maybe we won't. Who knows?
Yeah.
I promised that I would sing in the last episode, and I didn't. So I should feel like I'm disappointing people on all fronts. So if the kingdom is Animalia, then the phylum must be, well, it could be a lot of things, but this time it's Chordata. The class is Mammalia, and the order
is of the phoenix.
No, that's not what it says here. It says Rodentia.
Oh,
okay.
It was either that or 66.
You're thinking of the root. The family is, all right, here we go, Chrysetidae. The genus is Omicron
Persei 8.
Omicron. This is Myrrh from Omicron Persei 8. Onychomis or Onychomis.
I feel like a CH is a hard K usually.
A hard K, especially like following an O or preceding an O, like
yes.
chord. So we'll go Onychomis, or Onychomis. The species is Torridus, so Onychomis torridus or whatever. It's not technically a mouse. Did you know that? Mice are in the mus genus.
Is it a vole?
No, it's a rodent in the family Chrysetidae.
But it's not a true mouse.
It's a mouse-like animal, like a gerbil.
Okay.
Which I thought was interesting and confusing.
It has a short tail, not like a mouse. A tail is a mouse's pride. Without a tail, a mouse is nothing.
Is that what it says in Redwall?
Yes.
I feel like these are going to be lost on a lot of people, but maybe not. Maybe I'm the only person who hasn't read Redwall.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so where does this thing live? That is the question of the first 5 minutes of this podcast. It lives in North America, mainly southwestern North America. So Mexico, Arizona, California, Nevada.
The Sonoran, the old Sonoran.
New Mexico, and Utah. They like deserts and scrub valleys and stuff like that. They like wastelands. Hence the Wasteland Warrior nickname.
Sweet.
Let's talk about its appearance. Picture a brown mouse. The end. The first picture, when I wrote this, the first picture I saw was of essentially a brown mouse.
Yes.
It actually
also can have gray, tan, white.
Or frosted tips.
Yeah.
Like Justin Timberlake from NSYNC. You know, that Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
The one from NSYNC.
Okay.
But the first one I saw was of a brown one, and it looks like my gerbil that I used to have called Boudini. It's a mix between Buddy and Houdini because he managed to get out of everything. Originally he was Buddy, but then he started like escaping things, and so we called him Boudini. The SGM is levels of cute that we haven't seen on this show since the collared peacock.
Yes.
However, this one does have tiny pink people hands. Like a mouse.
Why are their hands so small? That's what I want to know. Mouse hands are so small.
Are they? Compared to their body?
Sure.
Like compared to ours?
Like look at it compared to their face.
Well, they have really big heads.
Yeah, they do have big heads.
So I think that's the thing. But I think like inch for inch or millimeter per millimeter, whatever, I think it's probably proportional.
It's just they have an improportional face.
Right, yeah. And like no neck, and they're just no neck chumps. But my question is, well, how big is it?
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh, you didn't write that down.
Well, I did.
Well,
I'm just being coy.
You're just not sure about, how to relate the size of this animal in your mind. Well, I can help you with that in the listener's favorite segment of the show. 3, 2, 1. Measure up!
I'm a little bit tone deaf, so as we'll find out later.
Well, this is the part of the show where we put the animal's size and other things into relatable terminology in the form of a quiz game where I, Joe, pose to you, Carlos, questions about comparisons. Let's start with the length of this mouth with the tail. It's about 120 to 163 millimeters, aka 4.7 to 6.4 inches.
Awesome. What's the average?
Average is 5.5 inches.
Okay. That's perfect.
How many southern grasshopper mice go into the tail of the legendary Mouse of Minsk, the famed creature spoken about in American Tail? Go into the tail, T-A-I-L.
Wait, how do you know that?
Here's a hint. Not the mechanical mouse they build at the end of the movie.
It's
the famed legend.
Because it's a real thing. I mean, it's a real legend.
Well,
outside of the lore of the movie, right?
In the movie, they talk about this legend and they give size.
Really?
Yes.
Man, I wish I knew this movie line by line so that I could figure this out. Let's say 100.
100 mice?
Yeah, that sounds like something that you'd say in a movie. It was like Papa Mouskowitz would be saying, and it was the Mouse of Minsk, and it was 100 mouses tall. Mice.
Just the tail, mind you.
Oh, just the tail? I'm going to say 20.
Okay. So, the legendary Mouse of Minsk is as tall as a tree and has a tail a mile long.
Ooh. What?
I told you, a tail is a mouse's pride.
All right, I got to rewatch this movie.
So that is 11,520 mice.
Okay, yeah.
You were just 11,500 off.
Wow. I guess it depends on the tree, but even if you're redwood, having a mile-long tail is really long.
Yeah, the dimensions are insane.
Isn't the tail supposed to be about like half of the mouse's length?
I think it's the same.
Instead of 8 times the mouse's length?
Let's talk about the weight with the tail. It's 1.5 to 2 ounces or 40 to 60 grams or an average of 1.7 ounces.
Okay. 1.7?
Yes.
I got 0.78, but I was looking at a different website. I was looking at the Animal Diversity Web.
National Geographic said they were 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces.
Oh, I got 0.78, but go on with your measurements.
How many southern grasshopper mice go into the approximate weight of Mickey Mouse, according to the Disney Wiki?
This is getting out of hand. Because we've talked now about 2 imaginary
fictional
things.
One is a fictional inside a fiction.
Yeah, is the Mouse of Minsk not a real mythos?
No, not according to.
It only exists in Fievel?
Not according to American Tail Wiki.
All right. I have no proportion concept for Mickey Mouse. I guess he's short.
Go by that game.
Kingdom Hearts?
Yes.
I mean, I guess he comes up to your middle thigh.
Yeah.
Is it like a regular?
He's child size.
Yeah, he's maybe 2.5, 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
And into his height, you said?
Weight.
Oh, weight. Oh, gosh. Gloves and everything.
Yeah, sure. It's all fiction. Who cares?
Who does care? Someone cares enough to put it on Disney Wiki.
Yeah.
I don't know how much like a 30-pound or 3-foot like child weighs. Like 70. That sounds right. It's like a decently sized dog.
Could be.
We'll go with 70 pounds. And he's
You just gotta convert that to ounces.
well, there's
And divide it by 1.7.
all right. I'm about to sound really dumb, but there are 16 ounces in a pound and 8 ounces in a cup. I think.
I think so. Okay.
I'm just gonna operate on that.
Okay.
And you said 1.5 is the average.
1.7.
1.7. I'm gonna go with 1.5 just to be in the ballpark.
Sure.
Which means that about 10 of them, 9.5. We'll go with 10. Go into a pound. And what I say, 70 pounds? So 700.
565.
All right.
It's Mickey Mouse is 60 pounds.
I hate it when I'm good with the math and I'm off with just the random measurement.
All right. One last thing. The average litter size. The average size of a southern grasshopper mouse litter is 2.6 pinkies. That's what a baby mouse is called.
Aw. That's why they're called
Pinky the Bane.
Oh, my gosh. It's not just because he was pink.
Nope.
He was white anyway.
He had a pink belly.
And with like pink eyes and ears and stuff like that.
Yeah. So how many average SGM litters go into the largest puppy litter ever? Would you like a hint?
Sure.
The litter was Neapolitan Mastiffs born to a mother named Abaltino Abrel. This was born in the UK, and they gave it this name. What the heck? Arabella. I'll go with
This doesn't help me at all.
Yeah. No.
Wait.
That's a big dog, though.
The largest litter?
Yes.
Like meeting the largest number of puppies?
Yes, ever born to one mother at one time.
And how many did you say was in a southern grasshopper mouse litter?
2.6.
2.6.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 10. 10 times. This Mastiff had 26 puppies.
9.
It had 9 puppies?
No, 9.5. 9.2.
Oh, dang.
Right on the money almost. They had 24 puppies.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope the dog's okay.
Yeah, they were. I looked up kittens, and a lot of them were stillborn. So.
Ooh, that's well. Now
puppy.
now everyone's sad. Let's talk about the SGM's diet and make everybody happy again. Psych. This mouse is so extra. It's so true mice are usually herbivorous.
Uh-huh.
Meaning
they eat herbs.
Yeah, it only eats like parsley and oregano.
Italian mice eat oregano.
Yeah. SGM, however, is a carnivore, although it is not in the order Carnivora, which means that taxonomy is confusing and frustrating. It's instead in the order Rodentia, which is more appropriate, but like there are carnivores not in Carnivora, so what's the point of labeling them Carnivora? We'll get to there eventually, maybe someday when I learn anything about taxonomy.
It's like genres.
It's completely arbitrary.
And very fluid.
Yeah. So the SGM mostly eats arthropods. That's the most abundant carnivorous thing to eat for a carnivorous soul. And
in the desert.
In the desert.
So would that make him an insectivore, but not really because he also eats
no, because
arachnids? What is he's eating lobsters out in the desert?
Yeah. This desert lobsters, aka a scorpion.
Fair. Fair point.
Right?
That's more than fair.
I don't think scorpions are insects.
They are arachnids.
Okay, yeah. So, actually, yeah, it mainly eats arthropods that are not insects, but also eats insects. But they also eat other mice. A mouse that eats other mice.
That's rude.
This is the mouse of Minsk.
Oh, no.
And here are the names of the other mice that it eats. The Western harvest mouse.
Yes.
And the little pocket mouse.
The little pocket mouse I looked up and it's adorable.
So small.
Yeah, and it has pockets in its cheeks. That's why it's got that name.
Oh, I didn't even look that up. That's so adorable. which makes SGM a veritable monster.
So I read this whole study about what they like to eat, and they will mostly eat crickets. So basically, the study they deprived them of food
I read
and introduced different things in their diet to see what they would eat and what they would be more likely to eat. They introduced crickets, and they preferred living crickets that were uninjured. They wanted to eat those the most. So that tells them that A, what a savage mouse, and B, like their instinct to hunt might be based on movement.
Yeah, like a T-Rex.
Yeah.
You just stay still. Also,
or like a toad. Remember when we talked about how the larvae, what was the larvae's name?
The Apomus beetle.
The Apomus beetle larvae moves its little like mouth parts and
Its mandibles. Mandible dance.
in such a way that it triggers the frog's predation instinct.
Yeah, so that if it doesn't try to eat the larva, it's actually there's something wrong with it.
Right.
Yeah, but I see it as like if there are a bunch of dead crickets around me, they're all delicious, and some of them are injured and they're like crawling away, and some of them are active. I'm gonna disable the active ones so that I maximize my profits.
Yeah. So they also more likely to eat things that were living than eat food that was provided to them.
Mm-hmm.
And also when they introduced other mice, the females were more likely to kill and eat the other mice.
Yeah, I saw that of the 6 of the 43 male SGMs.
Did I just step on all of your toes?
Yeah, you sure did.
You should have stopped.
No, you did I
thought you were moving on.
And 6 of the 43 males of the southern grasshopper mouse ate the normal lab mice, and 22 of the 45 females, so a little less than half, just barely less than half of the females ate the other lab mice. But that must be brutal to watch. They like bite them in the back of their necks, and
yeah,
it's.
Did you find out how the experiment went with like were there crickets available when they ate the mice?
Oh, I didn't see that correlation.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if like there was crickets or other food sources when they ate the mice.
But most southern grasshopper mice can be found with a veritable circus of different fleas on them as like kind of souvenirs from their kills.
Gee whiz.
So essentially the lesson here is if you give a mouse another mouse, it'll kill it and wear its fleas as a trophy, like some sort of Scandinavian jarl. And that leads me to my song. Come along and shriek a song and eat your family. SOUTHERNGRASSHOPPERMOUSE. Murder mouse.
Murder mouse.
Murder mouse.
Murder mouse.
Forever we will hold intestines high. And that's all I got. It was pretty good.
That was pretty funny.
It's a long. It's not as easy to spell as Mickey Mouse.
No, it isn't.
I also could have spelled murder mouse, but that wasn't gonna work. So this is a brutal little rodent, and here's the kicker for me. After a kill, sometimes this little adorable mouse will throw back its cute little blood-soaked head and scream at the moon.
I am definitely in post putting that in right here. Wasn't that adorable?
That was at first I thought it was going to be cute, but it's shrill and unsettling and frightening.
I've heard some cute ones. I don't know.
I heard a compilation, and each time I was like, no.
Well, it is a high-pitched squeak. It's like they're screaming.
It is a battle cry.
Yeah.
It lasts 1.2 seconds and is sometimes used as a warning, like a wolf howl. It can be heard 100 meters away, and it's time to get some of my revenge. It's time for mini measure up.
Oh no!
With the 1.2 seconds that these things average, these battle shrieks, how many shrieks of the grasshopper mouse would fit into William Henry Harrison's, aka Old Tippecanoe, his presidency?
So the duration.
Like he gets elected, and the southern grasshopper mouse just shrieks.
Start screaming, and how long will it?
And how many
will it take?
How many shrieks would you get to the point where he dies of pneumonia during his that he catches from his inaugural address?
How long did you say the
1.2 seconds.
So then that is 60. Let's say 52 screams per minute. 52 times 30 is... I'm terrible at math.
Just do 52 times 3 and multiply that by 10.
That's ridiculous. Trying to do 52 times 30.
That's how you do head math.
1,560.
Wrong. It's 2,269,000 because he was in office for 1 month.
Oh, really? I thought it was 30 minutes.
No.
Oh, no.
He was in office for 1 month to the day. March 4th to April 4th.
Do you talk about a different guy?
I talked about a French guy who abdicated the throne.
Oh.
That was back during our Mongoose episode.
Dang it. I thought it was the same guy.
Nope. This is William Henry Harrison, our nation's president, for a month. Anyway. So.
I liked that. I enjoyed it. It had a twist ending. It was good.
It was good. I
stand by it.
It subverted expectations. So this guy's really brutal. They sometimes even kill their own spouses, which means that...
mouse spouse?
Mouse spouse. Spouse of the mouse. If you give a mouse a spouse, it'll eat it.
For a day.
Teach mouse to spouse.
It'll have a sweet matrimony for a lifetime.
So yeah, mice that pair off usually live shorter lives than solitary ones.
Huh.
For the most part, they're pretty solitary though. But there is one item on SGM's menu that baffles me.
Oh.
And that is the Arizona bark scorpion, which I hear has a pretty nasty sting. How does this mouse make that part of its daily routine?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because that brings us to the major fact of this episode. The fact that the southern grasshopper mouse has a high pain tolerance and resistance to scorpion stings. Specifically, its favorite meal, or a favorite meal, the Arizona bark scorpion, which has the most venomous sting of all scorpions in North America.
Wow. If only the ant from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids had this same talent.
Yeah. Because you know why? Because the scorpion can cause the venom can cause severe pain, numbness, vomiting, lasting up to 72 hours in humans.
Ugh.
72 hours of pain, vomiting, numbness, and paralysis in the sting site.
Is it fatal?
Not usually.
Unless you're like allergic to it?
It can be if you're a child, you have a compromised immune system, or if you are an old person.
Okay.
An older person.
Okay. BPC.
Yes. But it's enough to kill most mice, to be sure. And it debilitates large predators because it's very painful.
Mm-hmm.
So the mouse turns the scorpion's venom into an ally.
Ooh.
So they have this protein in their nervous system that binds to the toxin. Actually, there's 6 toxins. Six dioxins.
Proteins have crazy names. Do you have a name for it?
I have none.
All right. Never mind. We'll call
mouse toxin.
We'll call this one Motine.
Motown.
Motine singer.
So when the mouse is stung, it instantly feels the hot burning pain from the snake venom or from the scorpion venom, as the scorpion usually stings multiple times in a row in close succession. The mouse takes a pause, cute little pink people pause, and it rubs and licks the sting sites. After a few seconds, the toxin binds to the protein, and it stops hurting, and it takes on a new effect as an analgesic. That's right. The scorpion's venom is now acting as a painkiller, the exact opposite of what he wanted it to do. Why? Strap in, because it's about to get sciencey.
I didn't realize that it felt pain in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was just immediately didn't work, but the grasshopper mouse takes one for the team for a second. For his
If you watch videos of this happening, it'll stop and squint its little eyes in pain and rub its face adorably and back up, and this thing starts to get away, but then it's just oh, I'm not done with you. So let's talk about the science of why this happens. Here we go. Pain neurons have 3 channels that need to open for any mammal, you, me, mice, rats, to feel pain. These are called ion channels, I think.
Sounds good.
So venom trips 2 of these channels. One which acts on this pain gatekeeper channel, which opens so that you can feel any pain at all. And then one that sends the signal of pain to the brain. However, in the southern grasshopper mouse, the second gate has these amino acid proteins that are different than most other mammals. And they bind to the toxin and stop it from triggering the broadcasting gate, the second gate.
Okay.
So it opens the first gate, and then this protein binds to it and stops it from sending any pain to the brain.
Okay. I'm trying to make a diagram in my brain. Do you have one?
No, there's no diagram.
Dang it. I want a diagram, one of those 3D ones that I would see in a over-the-counter medication commercial. So
this explains why the mouse feels no pain, but it doesn't explain, why it doesn't cause damage. There's more to a toxin than pain. Toxin means literally there's a chemical in your body that's doing damage to organs and things.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite store, by the way, Organs and Things.
Organs and Things Incorporated.
It's like a Sam Ash.
Just sells organs and organ accessories. Need an extra pipe? We got one for you.
So we have no idea why the mouse doesn't just die a painless death. No answer.
It's got something to combat that venom.
Yeah. Like a little bit of nutmeg to cut the sweetness.
It could be venom, or it could be you need to take your vitamins.
Yeah. But the protein has given scientists the idea, like other animals we talked about, like the cone snail, it's given scientists ideas about more specialized pain relief medications with fewer adverse effects.
So how does the toxin not damage its insides?
We don't know.
Oh, we don't know? Oh, okay.
By I mean science doesn't know.
Also,
humans don't know this.
We don't know.
And we definitely don't know.
And neither do you.
Yeah. There is no knowing.
30 minutes of interesting animal just enigmaticness.
Yes.
Enigmatism is the way you say that.
But yeah, that's it. That's the southern grasshopper mouse.
This is the same thing that I have with the mongoose. So you're still getting stabbed.
Yeah.
With even if the toxin isn't doing anything, it's still especially for a scorpion stinger going through the face, because it usually hits it in the face. It's that's got to put a damper on whatever you were trying to do.
In studies of the mouse, how it takes the venom versus other things, it's less than a saline solution. It hurts less than a saline solution after the binding.
But still, you're being stabbed. So,
but I'm saying once they bind, once this thing happens, the stabbing doesn't even hurt.
But I'm just imagining all southern grasshopper mice look like the bad rabbit in Watership Down, with just one milky eye from being stabbed there so many times, and a big scar. I'm just picturing really scarred faces. But you look at the pictures of these guys, and they have adorable unscarred faces.
That's that fur. It's good fur.
So is that all you got?
That's all I got.
So, for you, the listener out there, please frost your tips, take a stinger to the face, and shriek at the moon, like we do here in Life, Death, and Taxonomy.
Do you have an adorable war cry? Do you have an idea for an interesting animal that we should cover next? We'd love to hear from you. Leave us a review, tweet us a tweet, or message us on Facebook or via email. We are LD Taxonomy everywhere. Your feedback is the protein that binds to our hearts and stops us from feeling the stings of solitude. Thanks for listening.
This podcast is brought to you in part by the Brain Trust Brothers Network. For more information about this podcast or others, visit braintrustbros.com.
In clinical trials, and by clinical I mean whatever science words you use to say mouse trials.
I don't think that's clinical trials at all.
No, it isn't.